Well, here we are at the creation of King Zarek. Now, this video's point is to make sure that some of more rookie animators who don't know yet how to create stick figures, but they want to create completely on their own them without relying on other users from Sticknodes community so they can download their figures. So take a look at this. We're going step by step creating more complicated character models. Welcome. And this is where we begin. Now first download the background image so you can get a better look how to create the figure, and you can get also more accurate models, and you can also take colors from the background to get a proper color for your stick figure. So let's get into creating the torso itself. And this is some of the most basic things. You know how to do it. Just line up the torso with the background image you have. But then, after that, to create wider shoulders, add with zero thickness scratching lines on the representing the shoulders, and add the arm to there. And let's move on to creating facial features. Also, you can create the neck if you want for the head. Get either circle or ellipse to represent the eye. Then you can add some lines to or segments to represent the eye's features. Side note, you can add segments that are completely out of this model to represent the eye gestures. Let's move on. Creating legs follow pretty much the same philosophy as creating the arms. However, if you want to make it look more realistic, make the legs longer than the arms, at least if you're creating human models. Let's move on to the beard. Try to create edges that follow the shape of the Zarek's beard, then copy and paste it to the other side, which also belongs to the eyes and the other limbs. And then use feature polyfill to fill in the empty space left there. And don't worry, that doesn't mean you need to create you don't need to create inside this model its own mouth, because as you see there, you can just use completely different model mouth to represent that mouth. Now move on to the crown or the royal coat. At least in terms of Zarek's coat, it follows the same philosophy as creating the beard, so there's nothing really much to add. But those black points there, it's made out of fur, and fur has those spots. You can create them if you want, but I only created one of those, so it's not really mandatory. And the crown, yeah, I think I don't have really much I don't have a lot to add there anymore. But let's move on to Zillaros, which has truly exceeded my work. And I really mean it. And what do I mean by exceeding my work? Let's take a look at it. Now, I had no doubts. However, those shadows on Zillaros' robe, those darker points, I kinda doubted if I can make them so if they would add in the movements of his robe. But if I tell you I failed, I would lie. At least for me, still, I haven't really much used the model yet. But the way you can create shadows is outside of creating darker spots. If you want those shadows to move along with the robe, then try to follow the shape of the shadows. Use the polyfill feature. Then that one segment that That's where you build around the shape of the shadow. Make it movable and use the smart scratch feature. That should do the work for you. And I'm not going to spoil how you do it. It's just something that needs to be experienced by yourself. And of course, I'm going to end this with some sort of leak. Here is the Order Empire's throne room. What do you think of it? Alright, that's all I've got for